Hey guys, this is PK. How's it going? I got another battle for you. This is the second battle of the series I'm presenting you, and this time it takes place in an Advanced OU tournament. And usually high-level players gather around there, so it should be a good battle. My opponent this time is ZDW, who I've never really played before, but I've definitely seen online. So that's all I got to say. So here we go. I lead Mence, he leads Pert. And, well, I'm not going to stay in here, so you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring my Cloister. You've seen that done before. You know why. I spike up, get that first layer of spikes up. Shows me Zapdos. I'm not going to stay in here. It's going to use Thunderbolt. And I anticipate that. Go to my Pert. And I do that because I'm going to try to scout out whether it has HP Grass or HP Ice. Get that knowledge early on. So I'm going to switch here, and hopefully he'll take the bait and go for whatever hidden power he has. But it doesn't show me anything, and he switches to Celebi, so good for him on hiding that. I switch out here because Nox is going to do anything against the Celebi. I go to my Mence, who gets Leech Seeded, and that'll only let me know maybe one thing, and that's probably not a special sweeper Celebi, because the Leech Seed is usually not seen on such a set. But it could be Baton Pass, it could be a Cleric Celebi, it could be just the regular Calm Mind, Psychic, Leech Seed, Recover Celebi. I won't know until later. But anyway, go for Hidden Power Flying, and doesn't do as much as I wanted. Still does a pretty good ton though, and I switch. We get Cloister and Cloister, and I switch my Gengar in right away, trying to think he might use Rapid Spin. Doesn't work out, he goes for Spikes, so good on his part. Brings in Lax, and I Will-O-Wisp the Lax while he curses up. So pretty good so far. I bring in my Cloister here, thinking he might rest up, and that'll let me spike up. And so I proceed to, but I decided to go for Rapid Spin, just get that one layer of spikes out from my opponent, but it doesn't work out. It shows me Dusclops, his spin blocker. So I'm kind of forced to switch here. And I go to my Lax, who gets, oops, advertisement, who gets a Will-O-Wisp, so that's kind of ironic. We both have spin blockers, and both our Laxes get hit with Will-O-Wisp by those spin blockers. Go for Shadow Ball just to try and see how much damage it'll do, and it shows me Focus Punch, which that's a good thing to know. Focus Punch has surprise value, and once that surprise value is gone, you can pretty much act against it, unless the Dusclops has substitute, which it probably doesn't. I've never seen substitute on Dusclops. But we end up Cloister on Cloister, and this time I decided to spike up here. It's basically a coin flip prediction game when we get spikers against each other and spin blockers against each other. It's just a matter of prediction, which makes the game fun. But I know he's going to use Focus Punch here, so I bring in a Pope that can resist it, and that's Jirachi. And the Jirachi gets hit with a Will-O-Wisp, and I proceed to Wish up just to heal off any damage the Dusclops will do with the Focus Punch or whatever. And he goes for Shadow Ball. That's not going to do it, and I Calm Mind up in the process. And I Wish up here. The Pert's already weak, and I proceed to go for Psychic. The Earthquake damage does a ton, but it doesn't matter. The Wish heals off that damage, minus the burn damage, of course, but it was worth it. And now the Swampert's in kill range, so on turn 22, it's a 6-5 game. And he brings in his Burning Lax, which I'm burned, he's burned, so that's interesting. But anyway, I for some reason switched my Cloister here, and I probably should have stayed in and just Calm Minded up for my Jirachi in anticipation of that rest. So that was kind of bad, but I make mistakes sometimes. Go for Ice Beam, thinking he'd switch to Zapdos or something like that, or his Celebi, but he doesn't. He goes to his Cloister, and I correctly predict this time. He goes for Rapid Spin, and my Gengar blocks it. So if he stays in here, he's going to take a ton of damage, but I go for Ice Punch here, thinking he might go to Celebi or Zapdos. Doesn't work out, he goes for Ice Beam, and I take a ton of damage, so kind of bad on my part, but it doesn't really matter. I go for Giga Drain, that pretty much heals off all the damage I do. And so yeah, we're at a 6-4 game. Now he brings in the Celebi, who's probably going to use Psychic. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't bring in the Celebi at this point. So I'm going to switch here. I take Spike's damage, and he shows me Psychic, so Psychic Leech Seed. I go for Rest, he goes for Leech Seed. It doesn't matter, my objective was to rest off the burn and heal off any damage. Then he goes for Heal Bell, so that lets me know it's a Cleric Celebi. And that Heal Bell lets me bring in my Salamence for free, so I'm going to proceed to go for HP Flying here, and if he stays in, it's probably going to kill him. Brings in his Zapdos, which is the correct switch in my opinion, and takes 30% from the Hidden Power Flying, which is a pretty good chunk, but full health, Zapdos can just shrug it off. And he shows me the Hidden Power, and that's Ice, so my Pert is pretty much free to do what it wants. It's not scared at all. I'm content to stay in here. It goes for HP Ice, I go for Ice Beam. It's an ice on ice battle right now. If he stays in here, I'm probably going to win this. Actually, I'm almost certain I'm going to win this. So he's probably going to get out of here, and I go to my Lax, anticipating that, but I'm not really comfortable with Lax on Lax, and he wakes up, goes for Curse. I go for Rapid Spin here. I probably should have exploded right away, but it doesn't matter. He goes for Return, which does a pretty good chunk, but with his Spiker gone and my Spikes laid up, I go for Explosion, and hoping he won't go to the Dusclops and just nothing will happen. That would have been bad. So I took a bit of a risk there, but it paid off. And now the Snorlax is within kill range for my Ments, who can take it out with a good Brick Break. And he does stay in here, so I'm guessing he thinks the Zapdos is going to be important for him to win this game, and I agree it is. It's the only really thing keeping his team in the game right now. The HP Ice is going to force me to switch out here, and I bring in my Swampert, and I should still win this confrontation, but he gets a crit with HP Ice, and that kind of changes some things, because now it's going to make it much more difficult to take out the Zapdos. So yeah, I'm asleep right now, and he brings in his Dusclops, who has Focus Punch. But at the time, I forgot it had Focus Punch, and so I stay in with trying to wake up. So that was kind of bad on my part. My bad. But I switched thinking he'd go for Focus Punch again, but he goes for Shadow Ball. It's a good prediction on his part, and it does a ton. So I just proceed to go for Will-O-Wisp here. I figured now it's burned, Focus Punch won't do as much, and the Shadow Ball won't do as much, so I bring in my Jirachi on the Dusclops to answer for the killed Gengar, and I proceed to go for Wish. And now I realize him bringing the Celebi that he has Heal Bell, so he's just going to heal off the burn, and so I just take the opportunity to bring in my Ments, who heals off the minuscule damage it has taken so far. So I killed off the Gengar for nothing, so that was kind of bad. But I make up for it by anticipating a switch to Zapdos, and I kill it with Rock Slide, so that was good. But now I'm locked into the Rock Slide, so I'm going to have to get out of here. And I go for my Jirachi, and the Leech Seed plus the burn, that's kind of bad. Kind of sucks actually, but I'm safe to go for Wish here, and I'm going to stay in here and heal off my Jirachi. I'm hoping it'll live the Shadow Ball, but if it doesn't, I still have the Lax to take out the Dusclops, so he's not going to win this no matter what. But I get a lucky crit with Psychic for my Jirachi, and that puts him within kill range for my Salamence, so I take it out with Hidden Power Flying, and I take out the Celebi with Hidden Power Flying. So the final score in this confrontation is me winning 2-0. I think I could have probably won like 4-0 if I stayed in with the Jirachi and Calm Minded up while the Snorlax fell asleep. I could have potentially swept this entire team, but I didn't do that, and so I had to do it the hard way. But you know, I like doing things the hard way. No, I don't. Anyway, Hope you liked the battle. Like, subscribe, comment. Definitely subscribe. I have 5 subscribers now, which is something, 'cause I only had 3 before. But I would really like more. So if you know anyone who likes advanced OU battles or just likes Pokemon battles in general, let them know I have a channel that can cater to their needs. But until next time, this is PhilosopherKing signing out.